Oh, let's see who's here. Oh, he didn't show up. Josh should be zooming in. Here, he's my.
Got Mr. Vasquez. Do not. Check that. No. So he's on the remote. I don't have Mr. Anderson yet.
Vasquez had a parenting time, that's why he's in.
Huh?
Jake was zooming in on his parenting time.
Hi, I have the lady zooming in on a Motorola. You got a sugar skull kind of painting behind you. What is your name, please?
Jessica Moog, reader now.
Okay. What is it now?
Reader, R-E-E-D-E-R.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna change your name and I'm gonna look real quick to make sure. Okay, so I'm gonna pop you in the waiting room. I'll be right with you, all right?
Okay.
Mr. Anderson. Okay. Mr. Falahy, what are you here on?
Judge, I'm here with my client, Jessica Shords, and you have a show cause hearing for David
I
Shords.
just didn't remember. Yep, I just needed the name. Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Is David Shorts here? David Shorts? No. Forgot. In the matter of Mary Joseph versus Larry Cooper Jr., file number 2001-24405 UN. That matter has been dismissed. The matter of Shelby Irving versus Caleb Lindeman, file number 2016-42437 DS. That matter's been adjourned to December 12th at 8 a.m. That can be in person or via Zoom. In the matter of, let's see, let's see here. All right, Ms. Moore, in the matter of Keegan Lance versus Calista, well, it was Lance, but it's now Moore, right?
Yes.
All right, file number 2018-45134 DM. Ma'am, I show that this matter is being dismissed, so there must be compliance in some way, so they're dismissing, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Which one are you here on, Mr. Vasquez?
Armand Trout, Cleveland. Parenting time, it was adjourned. I think it was just for an update.
Say it again, Mr. Vasquez.
I think it was just for an update on the current parenting time situation. There'd been Mr. Cunningham was ordered to start therapy sessions. I don't have any update. I haven't heard from either of the parties since the last hearing.
All right, so in the matter of Tiffany Rose Armentrout, who's here in person, and Brian Scott Cleveland, who's appearing via Zoom, file number 13-39212 DS. All right, so we were last here on September 26th of 22, and the parties were ordered to begin services with Dr. Cunningham with frequency of visitation at the discretion of Dr. Cunningham. Mr. Vasquez stated that he has not heard from either Mr. Cleveland or Ms. Armentrout. So I I guess I'll start with you, Mr. Cleveland. Have those services begun?
No, Your Honor.
Say that again.
No, Your Honor.
Right, Ms. Armentrout, have you contacted Dr. Cunningham?
Yeah, I've been in contact with him a few times. He's declining services because he said that he's not going to take father's abuse or,
Okay, that's hearsay, so I don't want to hear that, but you're saying that you contacted Dr. Cunningham and he said he will not do it.
correct.
Okay, so, and what services, Mr. Vasquez, were they supposed to be doing? Counseling or reunification, or what was it?
I think it was family therapy sessions, I believe.
Okay, so for whatever reason, Dr. Cunningham is now saying he won't do it. So we need to find somebody else. Mr. Cleveland, you live in Waseon, so that's not that far away. Okay,
Your
so we have
Honor.
a couple other options. Yes, Mr. Cleveland.
I did go ahead and take it by myself to find another therapist that will take the insurances and see the children. Her name is Marissa Wagner. She's out of Shalom, SHALOM, counseling and family
Where's
therapy.
that located?
Archbold.
Okay, you live in,
I live here in town.
okay, all right, I don't have any idea how far Archibald is from here.
It is the next town over from me. It's not too far from Salmon Trout.
Okay, so let me look here. Archibald, Ohio, I mean, I've seen it. It's an hour. It's about an hour from here, 50 minutes is what I'm getting. All right, and what insurance do they have?
For me to be covered and for the children, it's United Healthcare.
Okay, is that out of Ohio?
Correct.
Okay, so Archibald's an hour away. How old are these kids?
16 and 13,
16 and 13. Are they involved in school activities?
yes.
Which ones?
Ryland does civil air patrol. And right now Isabel's just focusing on her therapy and mental health.
Say it again.
Isabel's not doing anything besides dance. So I don't know if she's going to continue with school with the dance team or if she's just gonna stay in school. She's still kind of on the fence about that one.
Okay. All right, so I would like to find something a little bit closer, and I don't know if that would be, like right over the border. Just like more this way than Archibald, because an hour is a long way to go. Especially just from Adrian, and I don't know what the frequency is, and so there's quite a few cities in Ohio that are on the border between us and you. Trying to think. What's that real pretty one? That's a real pretty one. If you take the back way to Toledo instead of going Sylvania, might be an option. There's lots of places in Sylvania. It's a bigger city. Mr. Cleveland, do you want to check in Sylvania?
I believe Sylvania is farther.
I don't know. What would be halfway between Adrian and you? Sylvania is like right across the Ohio border.
Well, Archbold's right across the border as well, but it's further west. Sylvania is further east.
How long does it take you to get to Sylvania?
For me, about an hour.
Yeah.
All right. So Ms. Ermentrout, an hour.
The original court order said that we were supposed to be issued counseling and parenting issues type stuff here in Lenawee County.
I don't have the file, Mr. Vasquez. Was the original order that all counseling was supposed to occur in Lenawee County?
I'm not sure on that, on the specifics on that, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I don't have a file, so I don't know, because I'm only here on, I don't get like the whole file, so I apologize for that. So Mr. Cleveland, if you want to hang out for a minute, Ms. Armentrout, have a seat, and Ms. Adams, if I could get the Armentrout Cleveland file, please. All right, so I'm gonna move on. All right, Mr. Stopsick, you want to come up in person? Is Erica Miller here? Hold on, Stopsick, let me get the paperwork. Got a receipt in your hand. Want to hand that
Yes,
to-
Your Honor.
Want to hand that to,
It's a $300 payment.
okay, and when did you make that?
That was just now, in
Okay,
cash. I got
Alright.
money on Saturday and I was just a little frantic about paying it online, so. I figured,
okay. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do.
yes,
And I
Your
know
Honor.
it drives my friend of the court workers nuts, but I will bring you back every month
Yes.
to make sure you make your payment.
I apologize to the workers and you
It's
as
okay.
well, Your Honor, but
So,
just
I'm gonna-
I understand to make sure that I continue on.
I know, I know. All right, so I'm gonna adjourn this. Miss Adams, I'm looking for a Monday in December, like the 12th or the 19th. I'm gone the 19th, right? Oh, I sent her across the hall. Get fine.
No, it's a blue sheet went
She's like,
outside
"Write it
or
down low."
something.
All right, let's see, I'm gonna adjourn this to December 12th, Mr. Sopsick.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Sopsick, if you make the payment in advance and you provide verification to your caseworker
Okay,
and you talk to them, you won't have to come. But if you make the payment like on Friday or
yeah,
that day, we don't have to. do it.
I paid it on Friday. It didn't even post on.
I know.
Monday still,
So if you
I
pay it
understand.
well within a week in advance,
Yes, Your
then
Honor.
you don't have to come in person.
Okay, I'll make sure of that. 'Cause I'll
Okay.
make it a lot easier.
All right,
And then I'll just do a Zoom meeting.
all right. So December 12th at 8 AM, you gotta be back, all right?
Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
He can come down and pay it right down at the window. I can do a orange sheet so that we know that.
Do you
we
want
did-
me to order that you can pay it here?
Well,
So that we know that we get it?
right, and you said it's by the 12th.
Mhm.
That's like an option as well.
Okay.
If
I'll leave you
if
that
I,
option.
if I'm not able to pay it online in good time, then I'll.
So that
definitely
I know
come
I
in.
have it before you come to court. And
Yes,
then I
most
can let you know
definitely.
when you pay it that you don't have to be in court.
Right, or would I be able to contact you and give you the receipt?
No, it
Okay.
doesn't really say it. As long as if I've
So
got.
if it
payment,
pays
then I'll
in a
adjourn
week in
it.
advance, it'll post, right?
Yeah, we can advance it, should be fine.
All
And
right,
the payment is going to be how much a month?
300.
Is that what you said? How much a month? Okay.
so Mr. Sapsek, if you
Yes.
make it 7 days in advance, you can zoom in.
Okay,
But anything less than that, you're gonna have to come in person, all right?
that's understandable, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll see you back on December 12th. Thank
for
you.
your time.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
You as well, Your Honor.
All right, Christian Davenport or Nicole Davenport? Okay. I'm so sorry.
Had the payment. I mean, I wasn't able to make one online.
Hold on, I haven't called your case yet.
Okay.
So I gotta have the paperwork in my hand, I gotta be able to call your case. All right, so this is in the matter of Nicole Marie Howell, who I do not have in my waiting room, is she here? Versus Christian Robert Davenport, file number 19-46565 All right, said we had original show cause on October 3rd, we adjourned to November 7th, the referee hearing was dismissed. You're ordered to pay $400 towards child support. I adjourned it to today for you to appear in person. And do you have a payment to make today?
I do
How much?
400.
All right, have you made it yet?
No, I want to make it right now.
Oh, wait, go downstairs and bring me the receipt back up.
We'll do.
All right,
Thank you,
thank
ma'am.
you. All right, the next invoice. Is David Schwartz here? Okay, all right. Miss Underwood, or I'm sorry, Miss Van Dusen, who are you here for?
Trout and David Schrudes. Except Trout, I just show that I'm supposed to be here, but it doesn't show me paperwork.
All right, Mr. Felony, who did you say you were hearing?
Judge, I'm here with my client Jessica Shorts, and we're on that Shorts case as well.
Okay, okay. All right, and you said he stepped out? Yeah, okay. So he just went to the restroom. All right, Mr. Shore, do you want to come up to the podium? All right, so Miss Van Duzen, I have Mr. Shorts. You said you're on that one.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah.
This has
he's
been
here.
adjourned out a few times for him to make payment.
Yep, and this is in the matter of David Allen Shorts versus Jessica Sue Shorts, file number 20-47465 DM of Dawn Van Dusen appearing on behalf of Mr. Shorts today, and Michael K. Falahy, P68610, appearing on behalf of Jessica Shorts. Let me read my notes. We've been here back and forth. There's been several hearings to have child support modified. It was lowered. Still not received payment. You had an attorney general case. So you were charged with felony, you were making payments, so they dismissed. And then we haven't received any payments since. Okay, so you have a monthly charge of $814 a month. Do you have a payment to make today?
Yes, Your Honor, I have
How much do you have to make payment today?
2,500.
Okay, you got it in cash?
I got a card.
How does he pay that?
Yeah, go downstairs, there's a port there, I think you can make it on that, on the port down there.
Down in front of the court? All right,
Yes,
so-
Your Honor, I tried making it online.
Nope, go downstairs. I'm
There's a
sure Ms.
port
Van
right by
Duzen,
the
you have no
window.
objection to me sending him down to make that payment?
Not at all, Your Honor.
All right, go down to the front of the court level and figure that out and bring me a receipt.
Okay, thanks.
Judge, you are breaking up a little bit in the courtroom.
I don't know what to do. I'm gonna turn off the video for that. All right. All right, Mr. Drulard, Mr. Falahy, while they're doing that, can you just turn off your video? Okay, all right, Mr. Drulard, let me take care of you. Rachel Wagner, she's here as well. You're not on this one, are you, Miss Van Duzen?
Which one? I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Drulard, I don't think so.
No.
You want to stop your video because we're having some real
Yep.
bandwidth issues. Mr. Cleveland, I'm gonna stop your video. You can still see me, I just can't see you. All right, let's get connected. And send a chat message to Miss Wagner to connect audio. All right, Miss Wagner, can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, this is in the matter of Rachel Elaine Wagner versus Russell Lawrence Drulard, file number 2012-38290 DP. This is the date and time set for show cause in this matter. Mr. Drulard, we are here on a front of the court show cause for failure to pay child support.
Yep.
I do show that you have no prior ones. So, Mr. Drulard, do you understand that it's a crime to fail to pay child support to the very
Yes.
best of your ability up to the amount ordered?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you understand that if you plead guilty to failure to pay child support on a first offense, you could be facing up to 45 days in jail, and on a second offense, 90?
Okay.
Okay. Now, do you understand that you are entitled to have a trial and you cannot be convicted unless the evidence at your trial proves that you are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And if you want an attorney and you do not have the money to pay for one, we can appoint you one at public expense. So
Okay.
I have two questions. Are you able to make payment on this?
Not today, no, I'm not.
All right, and do you want a court-appointed attorney, or are you going to retain an attorney?
I mean, I really don't need an attorney.
Okay. So are you employed?
I'm not disputing any of this, but no, I recently had to take a leave of absence because I did have pneumonia. It's been like 3 weeks. I'm just getting over it. And I'm supposed to go back in like 2 weeks.
So, Mr. Drulard, what I want to say is,
Yeah.
okay, I'm trying to offer you a way out without pleading you, so you don't get a first offense.
Okay.
And the reason, because then if you get that, then the next time we come back, I can give you 90
Yeah,
days
yeah.
of jail. I just
Yep.
didn't know if you were able to make a payment on this week.
No, no. Well, within like the next 2 weeks,
Can you, all right, and how much of a payment can you make in the next 2 weeks?
probably like 200. I'm literally strapped. I'm trying here.
All right, you understand your payment is like $237 a month.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, so would you be able to make the $250 payment in 30 days?
In 30 days, within 30 days, of course, yeah.
All right, so if I adjourn this out to December 12th, would you be able to make that payment?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is adjourn this out to December 12th for you to make that payment.
Okay.
And you're gonna pay the $250. So, Mr. Drulard, you have an arrearage of around $4,319. You haven't made a payment in a year and a half.
Yep.
So I understand that things are tight, but you can do what most people do, maybe get a part-time job on the side or something.
I understand. My wife literally passed away. I've been dealing with trying to raise a kid. My mom's sick. I've been going through a lot. I've tried having conversations with her, and I'm not disputing any of this, that I'm in any wrong or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're giving you that opportunity, and I'm sorry about your wife passing
Yes.
away.
Thank you.
And we'll see you back on December 12th, all right?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Wagner.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay. All right, you want to come back up? You got your receipt? All right. Can you put your name on the record again?
Chris Davenport.
All right, we have a receipt for payment.
For $408.
All right.
I'm sorry, 408. 408, yes.
All right, so I'm going to adjourn this to December 12th, just to monitor the next payment, okay? And so we'll put it over to, well, actually, I will put it over to, yeah, December 12th, just to monitor the next payment. And thank you, Mr. Davenport, and we'll see you back on December 12th at 8 o'clock. If you make that payment a week in advance of December 12th, you won't have to come here.
I'm currently not working at the moment. I have no problem making payments, but my original payment, like 411, was a little steep. I mean. I
So
got my
when's the last
lesson.
time you had an income review?
They went based off of the pandemic unemployment stuff, and I haven't received that in over a year.
Okay, you had a review on November 7th.
And I got some stuff and dropped it off downstairs, and nobody contacted me back.
Okay, I would assume you can request an income review, but I don't know if you have to pay for it or not, but
He just had one.
we had a friendly court referee hearing. Is that about child support?
He had a review, then he petitioned for a referee.
Are you employed right now?
So, I'm self-employed, but I mean, at the moment,
So what I would say is if you have a full-time job and you have a salary and you're getting a paycheck, they will base it on that. But if you're self-employed, they'll go back to last verification. So if you're self-employed and can't make your child support payments, then you need to get a part-time job.
so we're gonna base it off of the
I
pandemic.
don't know, I wasn't there. The only thing I can say is if they based it on pandemic, how many kids you got?
2.
I mean, $400 a month is not a lot of child support.
No, but she lives at home with her mom that has no bills and I'm.
That we don't take into account. So
Thank you, Your Honor.
unfortunately, so we'll see you back on December 12th at 8 o'clock.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you. All right. Packet. Mr. Shorts. On there. Okay. In the matter of Miranda Tavarnak versus Donald Miller. How do you pronounce her last name? Tavarnak, all right, I wasn't too off. All right, this is file number 2011-36639, DP. This is the date and time set for a show cause, and I don't see it further. So Mr. Miller, you're ordered to pay $235 a month in child support, and as of today's date, have an arrearage in excess of $14,943. Have they charged you with felony yet?
No,
Okay, so do you understand you're at the felony level?
I made a payment since our last quarter.
How
It
much
was
did you pay?
online, 200.
When you make payment?
It was less than a week ago.
Okay, do you have the receipt on your phone?
I can pull it up, yeah, I did on.
You got your phone?
Yeah,
Can you pull it up?
I'm not used to being able to have my phone.
You got it? Can you just show it to? Okay, all right, so I'm gonna set this out to December 12th at 8 AM. And you can make your December payment, all right?
Thank you.
So we'll see you back on December 12th at 8 AM. Thank you for making that payment. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Cleveland, I just need to get through the other ones and then I'll get to you guys. I'm sorry. All right. All right, Mr. Bravo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good morning. All right, this is in the matter of Maritza Mendez versus Curtis Daniel Bravo, file number 17-44161 BS. This is the date and time set for show cause in this matter. Mr. Bravo, it states here you're ordered to pay $484 a month in child support. And as of today's date, you have an arrearage in excess of $8,695, not $86,000, right? It's just 6. It's Tammy Kneisels.
$8,006, yeah.
It's not 86,000. Okay, it's just $8,695. It said 86,000 on here. So, Mr. Bravo, do you understand that it's a crime to fail to pay child support to the very best of your ability up to the amount ordered?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Bravo, the last payment we received was $1,000 on June 2nd of 2022. Mr. Bravo, you're at the felony level. So the state of Michigan Attorney General's office monitors child support cases with arrearages pretty much over $8,000. And what they do is they will charge somebody with a felony, failure to pay child support. And then they issue a warrant, they take you in custody, and then you cannot be released unless you post like 20% of what is owed. And it is a 4-year felony. So, Mr. Bravo, you're getting right at that point that this could happen. Do you understand that?
I do now.
Okay, that's a good thing to know. On a first offense of failure to pay child support, the maximum penalty I could give you on a completely different, it would be a contempt, could be up to 45 days in jail and 90 days on a second offense. Do you understand that?
I do now. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Bravo, failure to make payments, I could issue a bench warrant at some point if you're failing to make the payments. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Bravo, are you employed?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Bravo, you do have a right to have an attorney represent you at this and all subsequent hearings. If you can't afford to hire one, you can appoint one at you can take a receipt. You can, we can appoint you one at public expense. Would you like an attorney appointed to represent you?
I'm not sure if I need one or.
Well, and sometimes, Mr. Bravo, it helps because then you can explain what's going on and then they can give you advice on how to proceed.
And this is, you said appointed, so I
Yeah, you
wouldn't.
wouldn't have to pay for the attorney.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with any of this.
Well, that's sometimes why it's a good reason to have an attorney.
Right, I just was, so it's a
Okay.
good idea that I have one?
I think so. Ms. Van Duzen? All right,
Yes, Your
so
Honor.
Mr. Bravo, I'm gonna appoint an attorney to represent you. Ms. Van Duzen, I'm gonna have Ms. Adams send you Mr. Bravo's paperwork.
Okay,
Ms. Adams, I have it right here. The last payment we received from him was in June for $1,000. His arrearage is like 8,600. So, Mr. Bravo, I'm gonna open up a breakout. Well, first, hold on. Do we have a receipt?
I don't know who
Is that what it is? Sue, give me a minute. What is his name again?
David.
Shorts?
Sure.
All right, so back on the record in the matter of David Shorts and Jessica Shorts, do we have payment made? All right, and how much was paid?
500.
How much?
2,500.
All right, so Ms. Van Duzen and Mr. Falicky, a payment of $2,500 was made. So I'm gonna set this out to Ms. Adams, can I get a January date?
I heard my name, but you broke up, Judge. What do you need?
I'm sorry, Mr. Shorts, I need a date for January towards like mid to end January. No,
Oh, no, and because I'll be gone. So if you go to the end of January.
end of January.
Okay. January 30th.
All right, so I will set this out to January 30th. Mr. Shorts, you're ordered to pay $814 a month. Obviously, if you pay extra, I mean, obviously you're at felony level again, you understand they can charge you that,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay, over and over again.
Yes, Your
Okay, so Mr. Shorts, we'll see you back on, what day did you say?
January 30th.
We'll see you back on January 30th at 8 AM. Obviously, if you make a payment in advance, well over 7 days in advance, Ms. Pelham has the ability to adjourn it again. If you don't, you'll have to come in person.
Your Honor, am I able to set up a payment plan for the arrears? Like I can do $25 a month on those, but I still have to be able to survive and take care of my other daughter. I am also,
Mr., you can pay whatever you want every month on the app website.
okay, because I thought the arrears came out automatically with child
They
support.
do. But not, I think, what's the amount they usually take out?
Guideline would probably be 50 cents. I mean, would be way over, but if you give me an amount,
What do you recommend?
I would say minimum would be 100.
Okay, if
And
I
the
can,
guideline would be probably 450 a
Yeah,
month, but
So,
I
I mean,
understand.
you owe a felony level.
that's fine. Can we set that to $100 a month then,
Sure.
instead of having it be, that way I can't, I
I
understand.
said
that.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, the money, so if he pays $915 or $914 a month, at least we've got money coming in, I'm sure, so
As long as there's money coming in.
914 a month, I'm sure she would be happy with that.
Right.
Okay, and we get them, we're gonna take his taxes, definitely gonna take his taxes, he's still riding the fence with the Attorney General. At any time, all we have to do is call them and say, flag it, and they're gonna pick it up, so.
Right, because there isn't a.
All right, so as long as you, Mr. Felony, I saw you turned on your video, but as long as you make your monthly payment and towards the arrearage, we're satisfied.
Okay,
Obviously, there'll be a holder on his taxes, Mr. Felony and Ms. Van Duzen. But, all right, so I'm gonna set this out to January 30th to monitor the payments, and that'll be a payment.
okay.
All right.
If you have an objection, not, that has to be paid.
No, I'll pay
You have
the,
to understand.
Okay, I gotta go on to my next hearing. So
Okay, Steve, I wanna talk to you.
if you wanna go talk to him in the hall, you
No,
can.
that's okay, I've got one more to go. and
Do you
then I'll-
have?
Yep, and I'll talk to you. We have Jason Sanders still.
Thank you, Your Honor. Are we all set then?
You are all set.
All right,
If you have
thanks,
any
Judge. Have a
questions,
good
never
day.
call me. Okay.
All right, I don't.
Jason Sanders? Sanders?
Yep.
With the.
Is there a Mr. Sanders in the courtroom? All right, in the matter, is it Saunders?
Saunders.
It's usually here.
19?
Yeah. All right, so this is in the matter of Katrina Ryan Saunders versus Jason Paul Saunders, 2019-46696 DM. And Dawn Van Duzen appearing on behalf of Mr. Saunders. This is the date and time for a show cause. It was adjourned from September 19th. It's present for the hearing. And by today's date, he's supposed to have the arrearages paid off in full. Have you heard from him?
I heard nothing from him. They checked this
And
morning.
do you know if your office has heard anything from him? He usually shows up in court, so I ask. I have him on a civil case too.
I don't have them even listed, Your Honor.
Okay. It's okay. Has he been making payments? All right. Well, I will issue a bench warrant for Mr. Saunders' arrest. Thought maybe he would be making payments. And I will set bond in the amount of $3,689 cash.
What's his first name, Your Honor?
Jason Saunders, maybe he wasn't. No, I don't think so. I don't see where a court-appointed attorney was had, so.
Your Honor, he's got to be in. He's got a settlement conference in district court on the 1st, so maybe he's just mixed up with his dates.
I don't know. All right, is that it? All right.
Just waiting on the one,
Oh, Mr. Bravo.
yeah, that's it. That's what
All
I
right,
got.
find Mr. Bravo.
He's the one that's got me then just. Yep. Yep.
Oh, here we go. All right, so we're back on the record with matter of Maritza Mendez versus Curtis Bravo. Ms. Van Duzen, I appointed you to represent Mr. Bravo if he qualifies as qualified court-appointed counsel.
I don't know, I haven't talked to him, Your Honor. He didn't put us in a breakout room.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Yep, let me do the breakout room. We were doing the other one. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so Mr. Bravo and Ms. Van Duzen. I'm gonna pop you in a breakout room. Mr. Bravo, just click on when you get an invitation to join, click on join. And then when
Okay.
you're done, you just stay in that room and Ms. Van Duzen will come back and I'll bring you back.
Okay.
Scott move. Scott move. Scott moved in the corner. Yeah, I thought that was you. Okay, come on up to the podium. I was like, crazy morning. I know it's getting mixed up. All right. So Miss Rieger, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so this is in the matter of Jessica Ann Reeder. I said Rieger, but it's Reeder versus Scott Eugene Moog, file number 21-48105 FH. This is a parenting time issue. So we have a judgment divorce, states that Dad and Gabriel will engage in counseling to improve their relationship. On October 17th, Jessica filed a parenting time complaint stating that Scott has only attended one counseling session with Gabriel and he's refused to go anymore. On November 9th, friend of the court received a reply from Scott saying that he had taken Gabriel to 2 sessions and that Gabriel decided they did not need to do anymore. How old is Gabriel?
14.
He's 14.
Okay. All right. So we have an order. Does Gabriel, Miss Reeder, does Gabriel still want to go?
Yes.
Okay, and who are you attending sessions with, Mr. Mood?
I was in Tecumseh, but Gabe said he didn't want to go to him no more, so that's why we haven't been back to him.
Okay, but is it up to him?
It was up to both of us. He was living with me at that time.
Okay, but okay, is he living with you now?
No,
Okay, and Miss Reeder, is he back with you?
Yeah, he was never living with him.
Okay. All right, and how old is he again?
14.
So are you not willing to do the counseling sessions?
I will be,
Okay,
but
so
I live in Ohio and he lives in Michigan. And I
Where
was
do you
down
live in
in
Ohio?
Tecumseh. Was that?
you live in Delta
Yeah,
and he lives where?
Hudson.
Okay,
But my
well,
doctor's was in Tecumseh.
it was ordered, you guys agreed to it in your judgment and divorce, so you have to do it. If you guys want to find a counselor that's kind of midway,
He's supposed to be in counseling and on medication, but he's not.
okay, we're not hearing that. So in your judgment and divorce, you had an agreement that you and the child would attend counseling, all right?
Okay,
So that's still in place, and if you guys don't agree to not doing it, you have to attend it. So, you know, you can try to find a counselor that's somewhere halfway between. If that will help you. What kind of insurance does the child have, Ms. Rieger?
Meridian Medicaid.
Meridian Medicaid. So you'd have to try to find somebody, it's probably about once a week, right? Okay, so, Mr. Moog, you gotta get back in counseling with him, all right?
Okay.
You guys agreed to it? He's 14, it's not up to him. Okay, if you wanna try to find somebody closer to both of you, you can do that. You know, there might be somebody in Hudson, Morenci, somewhere, but, you can do that, but, you know, that's the prior agreement, and Gabriel doesn't get to choose that, okay?
Okay.
So you'll get back in counseling, contact the counselor?
Yeah.
Okay, and then like I said, if you guys can find someone closer to both of you, go for it, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Do I have an equity or anything?
Just do the counseling. All right, thank you, Ms. Rieger.
Thank you.
All right. No one in the waiting room, they're in a breakout room. than Norman Trout, Cleveland, and Mendez and Bravo. All right, so give me a second, because I do have a file for Norman Trout. All right, so Ms. Armentrout, you want to come back up? Mr. Cleveland, do you want to go ahead and turn your video back on?
Yes.
Judge, I think Miss Van Duzen said she's on that case.
Yeah, she is. All right, so we'll wait for Miss Van Duzen. Actually, you can have a seat. Sorry. All right, give me just a moment.
Your Honor, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Cleveland. I forgot there's an attorney on it, so it'll just be a minute. Miss Adams, nobody showed up on Kukrow versus Caribbean. Oh, wait, you're here. Okay. Are you Autumn? Is Austin here? Okay. Why don't you come up then? Okay, so in the matter of Austin, is it Kukrow?
Yes.
And pronounce your lovely Armenian name.
It's Carbedian.
Carvedian.
I also have my W-2s and my pay stubs.
Carvedian. All right, well, I don't need those because I don't calculate child support. All right, so this is in the matter of Austin Kukrow versus Autumn Carbedian. File number 16-43131 DC. Ma'am, you're objecting to the referee's recommended order dated the 24th of October because neither of you appeared for the court hearing. You said it was because you misinterpreted the notice of hearing. So what I'm just going to do is refer this back down to front of the court for another referee hearing. You'll get notice of it. Make sure you appear. Okay, so I'll grant your request and refer this back down to front of the court.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Bravo, good job coming back from the breakout room. All right, so Ms. Van Duzen, have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Bravo?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
And how would you like to proceed with Mr. Bravo today?
Your Honor, I'd ask that we just have a hearing and see if we can't put it out 30 days and see if he can come up with the money by then. He is truly unemployed. He's has an autistic child who's not potty trained, is not, and he just don't know the resources of what he can do or for the child and stuff. So therefore, then he can go to work. The mother gets the child on the weekend, but that's usually when he gets the child that they're talking about for this petition usually comes on those weekends. So he's very limited on what time he can get unemployed or employment, but he thinks he can get it money through friends and family within 30 days. And in the meantime, Your Honor, I'm going to try to be a social worker and be able to help him out with resources where the child can go and how to get him tested and different things like that.
Right. So Mr. Bravo, you're in Jackson and there are some resources available in Jackson that might be able to help you out. All right, I'm going to set this out to December 12th. I'm going to make a payment. And that'll be at 8
Um, December 12th at 8 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Ms. Van Duzen. I'll enter a plea of not guilty and we'll see you back on December 12th at 8.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think I'm done with
All
this
right,
part.
Nope, we still have Trout and Armentrout and Cleveland.
Okay,
Yeah, and we have a
Armentrout
pickup.
was closed out, it looked like.
No, hold on. All right, Mr.
Okay.
Bravo, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
All right, Becky, what did you say?
I'm sorry. I was just letting you know that we did have a pickup if she could stay for that as well.
Oh, I have a pickup too, evidently. for us.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Kristen Butler. Okay, so I have a lot of pickup.
It's not ours.
All right, so, Ms. Armentrout, now you can come back up, and Mr. Cleveland. Mr. Cleveland, I'm gonna send you a request to start your video.
Got it.
All right, so Mr. Vasquez, Mr. Anderson, or Mr. Jeff Anderson, I think you're done. This is the only one I have left, and it's Mr. Vasquez. All right, so as I look through the file, I have one court order from September 30. I have one from September 19. And the September 19 one ordered that Miss Armentrout was to obtain a new family therapist. And then she found Dr. Cunningham, and then evidently for whatever reason, Dr. Cunningham doesn't want to do it. This is one Miss Underwood was appointed on. Let's see. All right, so the last time Miss Armentrout was ordered to do it, she did find Dr. Cunningham, and like I said, I don't want to get into the whys, but for whatever reason, Dr. Cunningham doesn't want to do this. Mr. Cleveland, you live in Wasion. Miss Armentrout, where'd you say you live, Adrian? So, what's kind of a city in between?
I'm not really positive for Wasion. I just know that we're both from Toledo, so anywhere in between would be normal for us.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably not now, really.
yeah. I think you're both gonna have to drive a little bit just because you live so far away from each other. I'm looking right now. There's Wasion.
Around the airport, Howland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Airport.
I mean, you're probably gonna need a bigger city, and so both of you are gonna have to drive a little bit. I mean, obviously in Michigan, there's Morenci, there may be therapists in Morenci, which I know there are. You know, but either way, either of you, there's nothing like Royalton, Amboy, Fayette. I mean, both of you are gonna have to drive a little bit. I would say probably if we need Ohio for your insurance, Mr. Cleveland, probably the biggest city you're gonna be able to go to is Toledo or Holland, Sylvania.
Your Honor, those still would be further than Archbold would be right now. And she did have the paperwork and everything else. I've already gone through intake with her. She's just like on the side of Wasion right here. And Miss Armentrout did come out here to AJA behavioral before.
Which cost us a lot in gas.
You gotta speak up.
It was a lot in gas for us to be going back and forth, but you know, plus unlimited to.
What about teletherapy?
I have no objections to that. It would probably make the children feel more comfortable. On some of this.
I would object to that though, Your Honor. I haven't seen my
Right,
kids.
but either you drive an hour or she drives an hour, and seems like there's no good in between. Looking at income. Those are not. All right, Ms. Van Duzen, do you have Meridian on the kids? So, you know, we can either, I mean, one of you is gonna have to drive. So, but unfortunately, kids, that's like a 3 hours, you know, it probably is an hour in session and 2 hours driving on a school night. I mean, it's just not a good idea. So, you know, I guess, is there any place in Morenci?
I have not tried Morenci. I've called 14 different places here in town and they have refused to work with Mr. Cleveland.
But they haven't met him, why would they refuse to work with him?
Because of when they asked why we were court ordered, what happened with previous counselors, and they get their answers, they're like, I don't want to deal with him.
Okay, well, okay. So, let me see.
And I will bring documentation for
Say
friend
again?
court. I will bring in documentation for friend court regarding Mr. Cunningham.
Well, it's not an issue anymore.
Your Honor, there
I
still
just-
is AJA behavioral.
I can't hear you, Mr. Cleveland, say that again.
There still is AJA behavioral. The only issue was Ms. Armentrout made accusations that we had like sexual relations or something like that. That's why she refused to continue working with.
Okay, well, all right, so here's the deal. There's a counselor in Morenci called DNS Family Counseling. I'm gonna give you a phone number. It's 517-458-1357.
1357.
517-458-1357.
Okay.
Okay, so, Mr. Cleveland and Miss Armentrout. So the counseling is for Mr. Cleveland and the children, right?
I was told it was supposed to be all of us. His last counselor excluded me from everything. And
Let me see what I ordered.
ran
Hold on a
with it.
second. I mean, I can't imagine I would want both of you in the same room.
But
You guys fight all the time, so let me see.
I'm perfect.
Hold on, just stop talking for a minute. Family therapist. Hold on, let me get through all these orders. Mr. Cleveland, Miss Armentrout believes it was for all of you to be in therapy, including her and you. Is that correct?
You say again?
I'm sorry. Did you, Miss Armentrout believes that therapy was between all of you, including herself and you.
No, Your Honor, this is supposed to be between me and my children because Ms. Armentrout has kept them away from me so long that we're needing to reconnect.
Okay, all right.
And that was
So
the problem with the
I
last
got
one.
the order. So I've got an order from March 4 of 22. Let's see, father shall provide mother with the names, addresses, and phone numbers of 3 therapists, and provide mother with this information. Mother may make her individual contacts to ascertain information and choose one of the therapists. Parties will make arrangements with chosen therapist, and both parties and children will participate as therapist directs. So I think that there was a little bit of misunderstanding. So I'm gonna do an order, Ms. Van Duzen, I'll loop you in on this, that, all right. So I think that adults, like, you would only participate if they want you to, the therapist, all right? So, I'm going to order, let me write this down, that, Mr. Cleveland will contact the counselor, counseling service, DNS Family Counseling. And I don't know, they may not do it. I don't know. I don't know what kind of counseling they do. All right, and I don't want either of you contacting a counselor and giving background information. So you don't get to talk about, no, you don't get to call and tell them, you know, it's just family counseling between Mr. Cleveland and the children. That's for the counselor to figure out. So they'll probably interview the children, probably interview Mr. Cleveland, probably talk to you, maybe not, individually and separately before they bring everybody in a room, because that's how counselors usually do it. But I don't want either of you contacting them and giving them biased information from your side that might discourage them from wanting to do counseling. So,
I have a question for what is your suggestion then when there is that initial visit of trying to, I don't know what they call it, but it's like when they bring in the different parties and talk to them.
okay, so
And
you
they
and I are not
ask what
therapists,
happened.
right? Neither of
Okay.
us are. We're not therapists. I do this all the time. I order people into counseling. The counselor meets with the kids, the counselor meets with the parent, and when the counselor thinks it's appropriate to bring them in a room, they do. I'm not an expert, you're not an expert, Mr. Cleveland's not an expert.
It's when they ask what has
That's
happened that
their
led
job.
to, and that there was.
But that's not
things
you,
that were-
that's the kids.
Ma'am,
You-
I'm sorry, I'm trying to bring the point of like when supervised parenting was terminated and they ask why. Am
Your
I
kids
supposed
are
to lie or
16 and
not tell them?
14, they can say what they want. They're not stupid. So if you have
Yes, I
older
can
children
go ahead
and
and
the
look at
counselor
the
asks
data.
them, they're able to use words and communicate that,
So I
are they
just tell
not?
them, Go ahead and ask my children.
Huh?
So when they ask me, just tell them to go ahead and ask the children,
Why would you even be there?
because they've called me in to ask me before. And all I've done is complied with what people have asked or told me to do, and nothing more, nothing less. So I'm just
Okay.
asking you, what is the appropriate way to handle that if a counselor asks me, how did we come to this point after so long? What happened
Okay,
with
so
supervised
what I'm
parenting?
gonna
What happened
say
with
is,
counselors?
we're gonna
Blah, blah,
schedule
blah.
Mr. Cleveland and the children in for counseling,
Okay,
not you.
and that's how the last.
And then
time
if the
went.
counselor decides they want to meet with you, then you can meet with them and give them your version of events. But Mr. Cleveland gets to give them his version of events, and the kids are too. These kids are old enough to be able to communicate if they have any concerns or fears.
What happens when their fears and
I-
concerns are
I'm gonna order this.
And that's fine, because I know how it'll go, but I'm asking when it gets to that point, what do my children do? What are their rights? How do they speak up for themselves?
Do they not know how to form sentences and words?
They have,
Okay,
but
then they
the
can do that with the
previous-
counselor. And they can either say, you know, they'll be honest, I would assume, with the counselor about what they want.
I'm not worried about that aspect of it. It was just the way that the last counselor handled things that makes me a little concerned for my children. Okay, a lot concerned.
I'm leaving it in a qualified professional's hands. I'm not a counselor in the other. And you don't know what your kids say when they're in that room alone with them. What I found is kids say a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And, you know, I'm assuming we're referring to qualified professionals. So so Mr. Cleveland, if DNS counseling in Muncie, Michigan is not available, I'm going to ask that we look in Holland, Sylvania area.
Okay, Your Honor.
Because I'd rather you drive longer than the kids. Okay, kids are pretty honest and counselors are mandatory reporters. So if they express any concerns,
I think there was,
I don't want to hear about it. I'm just saying, I don't want to, we're not having testimony by a therapist or anyone
I'm
else.
fine
So
with being a therapist, but I think that at least would make me feel better.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna leave it in the discretion of the counselor. I've had counselors come in and say, I would recommend no contact. It is what it is, but, okay. let's speak. All right, so I'm gonna order that Mr. Cleveland will contact DNS Counseling in Morenci, Michigan for counseling services. If they are not available, then Mr. Cleveland will find one in the Holland, Sylvania area. The counseling will be between the minor children and Mr. Cleveland. Ms. Armentrout will only interact or speak with the counselor at the direction of the counselor. All right, and I'm gonna set this for review on January 30th is my next available. Well, actually, no. Miss Adams, could I get a mid-January date? And then Jake, could you let Miss Pelham know that Mr. Saunders is here? I don't
Yes.
know if you could holler across the hall.
That's, we have January 9th or January 30th.
All right, let's do January 9th. So we'll see you back on January 9th at 8 AM just to check in and see what. All right. All right. Thank you both. We'll send that order out today.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You as well, both of you. Happy Thanksgiving. Miss Adams, I'm printing out that order, and if Miss Adams, could you get the jail ready? I'm sure Miss Van Duzen has like 30 places to go. How you doing, Miss Van Duzen? I'm gonna go off. Oh, I got Mr. Saunders. He's here. I don't think you're appointed to represent him. Somebody was watching my YouTube. It's funny, they pop in all the time after they call me. Mr. Saunders.
Judge, I don't see Miss Pelham here in the office. I'm not sure where she's at.
All right, she's probably somewhere.
I'll let her know if I see her back down here.
All right, I have one more that just came in at front of the court show cause, so I got Mr. Anderson though, but this is
Okay.
Sue Pelham.
All right, yeah, because I don't have any of the paperwork. I was just here on the Armentrout,
Okay.
so.
Hi,
All right.
Mr. Saunders.
Hello.
All right, this is in the matter of Katrina Ryan Saunders versus Jason Paul Saunders, file number 2019-46696 DM. I am going to get rid of the courtroom because, are you logged in? No, okay. So Mr. Saunders, we are
Yes.
here on a show cause. It says you're ordered to pay $466 a month in child support. You have an arrearage in excess of $3,688. We were last here in September, and you had asked for an adjournment to today to pay the arrearages in full. So Mr. Saunders, are you able to do that?
I paid 1,100 this morning. I got stuck down the road and with my battery and I got back. But I got a loan in process to Key Bank, and I have the form that I was going to email to you. If with that, within 4 to 6 weeks, I'll have the loan to pay the 25,000 for the other thing, which I'm making $200 payments plus the rest of child support. I paid 1,100 a day.
So Mr. Saunders, what I'm going to do is adjourn this to December 12th at 8 AM. for you to do that. I did issue a bench warrant earlier for failure to appear, and I did say on the record, I was surprised you had not appeared because you typically always do. So I will quash that bench warrant. And I will set this over to December 12th at 8 AM. And any paperwork you get, just give that to Ms. Pelham for a friend of the court, and then she'll
Okay.
have it for our next hearing, all right?
That'll be excellent. I apologize. I was thinking it was 9 o'clock.